Alright, so let's pick it up again. Taimi has, as a reaction to Flunt's demands, headed out into the desert on her own. Keep in mind, like, we are, as I've mentioned many times, because it annoys me, I think it's kind of stupid. We're essentially babysitting Taimi. Taimi's a child. She is very specifically within the story, like they make it very clear, Taimi is a minor. And apparently we don't care. Apparently we, are a-okay with like dragging minors around with us while we engage in all sorts of violent shenanigans. And so now we have lost track of her because she, was unhappy with this whole thing with Flunt, and so she done run off, and presumably now she's in danger. I forget how to get track Taimi's course outside the ley line. Oh. Oh, are we right back where we started? How did I not trigger that the first time I came through it? There we go. Continue to search for Taimi. I was headed straight to where I knew we ended up, but apparently that's not how we're going to do it. Yeah, it's going to lead us through a series of these little circles. Alright. That's cool. Now, I think at the end of this sandstorm, these vines are going to go away. So this would be, by the way, the first time during Dragon's Reach Part 1, this was available, this was not. This part of the map had not been unlocked yet. So it was not until this point when we, when Dragon's Reach Part 2 was released, that we were actually able to enter this part of Dry Top. Which, along with it, brought all kinds of like new achievements and fun things. There's a number of events relative to the size of this tiny little area. There's actually several events that take place here and so forth. So, such as that one: prevent Skrit from stealing supplies. That's a hard event to do by yourself, just because of the sheer number of Skrit and so forth. But we're not going to do it. There's one up here with like beetles and stuff. There's I think there's another one up there, maybe. There are a few. Hey.
Not by yourself, of course, but with this state of
Time to do some real damage.
Oh. Oh, yeah, this one. There's some achievements associated with this event.
Oh, all right. The golem's a trash tin.
But we're not going to do it right now. And I assume I do not have those. Yeah, I definitely don't have those achievements on this account. And it doesn't matter. Alright. Taimi, what's going on, Taimi? Oh, there she is. Oh, no!
No! Get away from me! Stop that golem!
Oh, no! Taimi. Okay. Bram's got you, Taimi. So you would not take a child to Afghanistan and then when that child ran off in the middle of like Kandahar City, be shocked when something bad happened to the child. And yet, that's what's happening here. Now, to ArenaNet's credit, they do a great job of like the ear shit trembling thing, like communicating, Taimi's kind of fear and everything that's going on there. I think that's actually like fantastic. Oh, of course. I just blew that. So I do think they do like a pretty good job of communicating what they want to communicate here. I just, because I can't stop talking about it, I just think it's like horrible design on their part, or horrible writing that we're just dragging children around through all this stuff. So the most genius child in the world. It's worth noting, but still.
Feel the fury.
Oh, Scruffy's dead meat. Taimi, what's up, kid? You okay?
Taimi, you
Oh,
okay, kid?
ears still shaking.
Ram, they were all around me. I thought.
Hey now. You're okay. You're fine. They're all gone. We've got your back. You're safe now.
What are they doing here?
Ah, it's our boy Flunt, who presumably still wants the device, right? Yeah, back into Regal. It's too soon. I need more time. If they want my device, they can wait. I'll give it up later. Remember, Taimi, this is for the greater good. So yeah, I mean, but I don't know. Like, if we're just gonna take this whole thing at face value, right? Like, putting aside like some of my reservations with what I think is like not the best writing in the world, then I mean, I guess it is for the greater good, right? Like, at the end of the day, and you could even, again, she's a child. Like, if my child paints a brilliant painting, like, I'm gonna want her to get all the credit, and I'm gonna want her to be proud of it, and I'm gonna want her to benefit from that. But a lot of parents wouldn't necessarily do that. A lot of parents would straight steal their kids' money. You see with like child actors all the time and stuff, right? So I guess we're just gonna throw Taimi under the bus the way most people throw their kids under the bus, because most people are trash. Explain to me how rewarding evil, not to mention theft from promising students, is for the greater good. Yeah, valid point, Taimi. Taimi scores one there. You're sacrificing it to get them to the summit. So there is something to be said for like concessions, right? There are times in our life when we make concessions. If you're going to make concessions to a reasonable person. Concessions to an unreasonable person or untrustworthy person will only result in more concessions being asked of you, right? So if you and I have a positive relationship and I make a concession to you in the interest of some kind of beneficial end state, a compromise, us reaching an agreement, that might be like a sound decision if you're a person of integrity or whatever. But if you make a concession to a bear by just handing it a big old steak, guess what's going to happen? It's going to come back for more steak. It's going to continue to come back for more steak until it bites your face off. So I don't know that I love the commander's approach to making concessions to someone who's demonstrated themselves to be untrustworthy here, Counselor Flunt. But apparently that's what's happening here, concessions. Why do I have to be the one sacrificing something? Especially something this important. So I guess now we're gonna, like, if you really don't want to give it up, okay, all right.
All right. I'll do anything if it helps us get rid of Mordremoth.
That's a good decision, progeny. You're lucky to be alive.
Oh, well, Flunt's not wrong.
Progeny, you're lucky to be alive.
Taimi, remember what we talked about.
Fine, take it. If you break it, you pay for it.
Look at these tiny little Asura gonna pick up this big device and run off with it. Or do they just zap away? I can't remember. Anyway, Bram. Glad you were here. The kid's stubborn, but, well, I can relate. Yeah, because you are also a juvenile. Let's not forget that. I'm ranting and raving about Taimi, but let's remember that Bram is, like, portrayed early, like in Season 1, Season 2, as being possibly a minor and definitely, like, very young. Early 20s at the absolute oldest. Like, they portray all these characters to be so young. Like, it's bizarre. All right. Me too. You got this? I need to get to the Grove, prepare for the summit. We'll take Taimi to the Grove once she's calmed down. Yeah, okay, cool. So the summit, right? In theory, do we now have everyone on board? Well, let's see. Jenna's on board. Newt Whitebear's on board. The Char's on board. Who's that? Smoter. Peter Smoter. Of course, the Pale Tree's already going to be there. And now we got Flint on board. So can we, like, do this thing now? Is this a thing that's going to happen? A summit? The World Summit. Level 80. Okay, cool. Ooh, that thing's firing. The event must be taking place. Oh, yeah, look at that. Totally is. Let's see. Can we do this without falling? Yeah, go team. There should be like a champ up there. Yeah. That's actually kind of a fun event if you have like 2 or 3 people. I'm not going to try and do it by myself. I don't have interest in that. But it's a fun event with a few people. All right. World Summit. Interesting cutscene. Or, I mean, loading screen. I don't remember seeing that one. I'm sure it's always been there. I just don't remember noticing.
Being back home in the Grove, Blossom.
I despise both puns and pet names, Countess. But as long as you hold my billet, I will go where you need me.
Worried your mother might not approve of all your naughty misadventures?
I'm sure she has far larger concerns.
True. You are only one among her thousands of children. Not as dear to her as her firstborn, like our heroic pack marshal.
It may be wiser to focus such commentary on someone without a violent criminal history, Countess.
Yeah, so I've mentioned this a number of times. Like the Silvari, you know, this classist, like this really bizarre kind of case system that they have is like the Nightmare Court are on point. If you just exclude their methods, right? Which I get is a lot, right? Like the methods say everything about who they are. So the Nightmare Court are bad guys, no question about it. But their philosophy is on point, because the Pale Tree is hot garbage, and the Firstborn, like Kaith, should 100% be like murdered. Absolutely, I'm totally okay with that. Anyway, and so is Canuck, right? We like Canuck for all these reasons. Here's our crew.
We did it. They're all coming.
So they said. I'll believe it when I see it.
Everyone understands how important this is. They'll be here.
Do they, Bram?
Remember your place here. We have an audience with them. It's not a party.
Agreed. We may not be able to speak at all. They're here to talk to one another.
They'll listen to the boss. I know it.
Ah, Traherne. Along with... So I don't think Larenthir is the first one. He does play a significant role in the story, though. But Traherne, yes. So one of the examples of... Oh, wait.
As much as one left on the bough to ripen.
You do keep those blades of yours keen, Countess.
Forgive my meddling petal. It's just that I see such potential in you.
Petal? I fear you've only employed me in order to sharpen your wit, or work on your plant puns. Why not prove me wrong and tell me your true purpose?
All in good time.
Do you treat everyone you encounter like children?
She does, actually.
You're a delicate flower, aren't you? So easily bruised.
I have a thick skin. I also learn from my missteps. For example, you fooled me once with your illusions. So now I wonder if you're truly as young as...
Do not finish that sentence. Not here. Not ever.
At last, a substantial response.
Yes, well, you would be wise to remember your place and check that tongue of yours.
When will you tell me why you've brought me here?
I'm trying to decide if I can trust you out in the field. I mean, after that nasty business on South...
I was trying to free those refugees from the Consortium's exploitation. I went about it poorly, criminally, and I answered for my crimes.
Your intentions in that affair, whether noble or not, aren't what concern me. It's your failure to evade capture.
I beg your pardon.
Noble intentions don't interest me. What I need is a sharp instrument. A knife that can be employed before anyone realizes it's struck.
Show me where to cut, Countess, and I will be your blade.
Ah, they found common ground. So sorry for the loss of audio there for a second. Yeah, so a couple of significant things. One, we get a little bit more, again, because we did not do the Canuck piece during the playthrough. But we kind of got a little bit more about what was going on there in terms of him. He believed he was standing up for kind of the downtrodden and so forth. And the Consortium was presented as kind of a shifty group of folks. In a sense, like a rival to the Black Lion Trading Company, sort of, as well. Although that never really like manifested. It would have been very interesting to see that like manifest in some way. But I'm sure that, also very confusing to new players if there were like two different trading posts that function differently. Like, one takes a different sort of tax than the other. It would have created another sink, but and would have allowed you to choose which sink you pay into. But again, very confusing for new players, I'm sure. And really even for veteran players probably. So we also get Canuck kind of poking at Countess Anise regarding her age. So there's a lot of, outside of like this dialogue and stuff, there's been a lot of conjecture anyway about Anise and what she is and is not, and her relationship with Jenna. And I think it's worthwhile conjecture. There's some interesting stuff there to kind of look at. I don't like it, however, when the player community like ends up kind of dictating to the studio what the lore is and like where the story should go. There are definitely some times when it felt like that happened. As interesting as the conjecture is, I prefer that they stay away from that because it's bad for the game when the studio or when the player base feels like they're in control of what happens with the game, because people are stupid. And while we may have people in the player base who are very smart at like their particular things, unless they're devs, they shouldn't you stick to what you're good at, because on the whole you're stupid. And that applies to me too, right? Like, I stick to what I'm good at because you do not want me performing surgery, you do not want me repairing your car, you do not want me putting out fires, because I'm stupid. You only want me doing the thing that I have practiced at and become good at. Any thoughts on that, Denise? I'm all abloom. So she sounds just like what a newborn Savari would sound like, right? You've always been a clever one. Well, I beseech you not to give away my little secret. All right. Has Canuck been behaving? The perfect companion. If you have any trouble with him, let me know. Canuck, I'm sure the Countess appreciates your offer, but you can rest assured that I do not tend to cross any lines she hasn't asked me to cross. So the commander always does this. Like, oh, I'm big and tough. You better not mess around, or I'll punch you in the throat. I wish they hadn't done that with the commander. All right, Churn, what's up? I had word of this summit from the Mother Tree. You're doing a good thing. Those of us who remember the encounter with Zaitan know how merciless the Elder Dragons can be. It's good to see you, Churn. I'm only here to give you moral support and to answer any questions about the Pact's current plans. Yeah, so we do need to know about the Pact's current plans. I mean, their whole thing. So let's assume that the Pact gets funded somehow, right? Whether through donations or whether it's through, whatever that is, presumably the Pact gets funded. What are people funding if these guys don't have their whole thing is Elder Dragons? They better have a plan for Mordremoth, right? So what's happening with Pact? We've regrouped and regained some of our strength after Zaitan. So presumably they did lose a lot of, presumably the battle against Zaitan was a legit battle, right? We have been planning to go after Kralkatorix, so they are engaged in the whole Elder Dragon thing. But then we heard the dragons bellow. So, Mordremoth it is. Not yet, but we will be soon. We're setting up a forward camp from which to begin the assault. I will call on you at some point in the future. So this is going to be really relevant really soon, right? I've been away. You've been instrumental in saving many lives. Who might I say it's less important than mine? So we kind of pseudo are a member of the Pact, right? Like we are, but just like we're a member of an order, and like all these different allegiances that we have are only as relevant as the current storyline makes them. I expect you have many stories to tell, and we'll talk more soon. Alright, well, yeah, cool. Maybe we should get on with this summit, right? Like, enough messing around here. Like, this is cool. They got, like, the symbols for the different races here. Is that really the char symbol?
Quiet.
Alright. So here come the peoples. Alright, so we're going to kind of get in the way of all this. You know. So we see Casimir with Queen Jenna. And then a couple of the Shining Blade, who do function as more or less like her personal security. Right? See, I wonder if Anise is... Yes, I'm right here. Oh, she's talking to Marjorie. Alright.
Beautiful. Now go, before the queen notices you're gone.
Yeah, Casimir, like, what's your deal?
I missed you.
Me too.
Ooh, nothing from Anise?
Wow.
Thanks, Newt.
Alright, so Bram was the one who was kind of tasked with getting Newt to show up, so he should have gratitude. He should be grateful that this thing is going off without a hitch. Flunt. Undoubtedly, Taimi will have something to say about this, I'm sure.
Flint. Hope he trips on his robes.
That would actually be really awesome if he, like, fell right there. Hey, buddy. What's going on? Very snazzy. Is this an Arcane Eye agent? Yeah, it is. Cool. Alright, so there's Smoder. Is Ridlock with him? Nope. Yeah, Rock saluting with everyone else. No Ridlock, though, huh? You all done, Harold?
Pardon me. The world leaders are assembled and awaiting your presence. You may proceed to the Umphalos chamber.
It's our cue. Best behavior, everyone.
Can't wait to see Flint's stupid face when he realizes we're right.
Pardon, I'm sorry to interject myself, but I'm afraid your golem won't be allowed to ascend to the Umphalos chamber.
What? Oh,
This is for grown-ups anyway, Taimi. You need to wait for us down here.
you're kidding, right?
Somebody needs to stay down here and guard our backs. We'll be vulnerable up there. I'll tell you all about it later. Promise.
You'd better remember every little detail, Bram. All right, Scruffy and I will guard the way out.
Any more dialogue from anyone that we want to catch? Doesn't look like it. Alright. Got all the world's leaders kind of gathered together here. Oh, we're just going to stand right here.
Esteemed leaders,
Like the guest of honor.
welcome to the Grove. Your attendance at this critical summit is appreciated. We are here at the behest of the honored group you see before you. I'm told you're all familiar with one another, so I won't make introductions. I will, however, let their spokesperson give us a summary. So, without further ado, please begin.
Oh, look at that. A podium just grows up out of the ground. That's super cool. Alright. Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for coming. So, platitudes. Morgermoth's awakening. Damage. In the time this dragon has been awake, it has been sending out vines as far as the Iron Marches. Soon Tyrael will be nothing more than a giant briar patch. These vines are malicious. Fort Salma has been destroyed. Fort Concordia as well. Their defense cannot keep out an enemy that rises from beneath, shaking the very foundation of their walls and towers. We can't know where it will attack until it does. No one is safe. Our families, our people, our trade routes, most recently, our waypoints were threatened. This is why I stand before you, ask you all to help out. Platitudes.
Thank you for that information. Esteemed leaders, what are your thoughts?
Morgermoth. Its attacks have been far-reaching but unfocused. Meanwhile, Ascalonian ghosts continue to harass us.
All right, so I guess we're going to address that, right? We have to address each of their concerns. I don't know what to say, Imperator. Like, yeah, that sounds like it sucks, but, you know. If Ascalonian ghosts aren't reason enough, we have an army of Flame Legion constantly nipping at our heels. Well, that's a Char problem, not a me problem. Just waiting for us to leave Black Citadel unprotected so they can invade. And when Mordor Moss has destroyed your citadel, what then? How can you even suggest such a thing? It already destroyed 2 forts. And a friend lost her... Okay, so the idea that this gains traction with Smodor is kind of weird because, like, the natural Char response would be, well, like, those silly packed forts are nothing compared to the Black Citadel. And yeah, you should visit us in our territory one day so you can see how the Flame Legion and Ascalonian ghosts kill our loved ones. So now we're going to turn to Ritlock's efforts. You know, don't you have hope now that you can deal with the ghosts? Yes, and it does allow me to relax one eye, but only one. I truly believe Mordor Moth is the greatest threat right now. They're plant creatures. How hard can they be to fight? One good flamethrower, and with all due respect, those 2 forts were defended by Vigil and Seraph. But they were taken by surprise. I've seen with my own eyes. Okay, I respect you, and that alone is the reason I'm agreeing to explore this. I make no commitment, but I'll participate in the discussions. Alright, well, baby steps, I guess.
With Jormak and the Sons of Svanir. You want us to leave our homesteads to their mercy and go after Mordramoth?
Well, like, I'm not asking for literally every Norn, Newt. Remember the day Jormak awoke and began spewing cold hatred upon my people. Yeah, it's a struggle. Yeah. Mordramoth doesn't care. Alright, well, I mean, that's true. That's actually an excellent response. That's a really good response, actually. Mordramoth is not yet as close to Sun Svanir. That is valid. Valid. If you wait until Mordramoth attacks to react, it will be too late. Well, I don't know. Newt's argument has credibility. This was kind of Smodor's argument as well, right? I do not command an army. My people make up their own minds and follow their own legends. So that is specifically like or not specifically, but that is like with emphasis a Norn thing, right? That they congregate like by choice, but like in Holbrecht, but their sense of independence is very well defined, and so they don't have like this kind of like, yeah, he's kind of the speaker on the behalf of the Norn, but their governmental structure is not like what the humans or the Char or something are. Make them aware. That is something I can do. I know many who would leap at the chance to fight a dragon. Yeah, so that's like the best way to go about it with Norn.
Who are eager to face the prey of a lifetime. They'll come.
Why isn't the pact handling this? Are they mired in ore?
Oh, good. It's Flunt. So I kind of like Flunt just because I enjoy not liking Flunt. It's kind of fun. Aren't you being a bit alarmist? So this is weird, like all this because he like went through that experience, and that's what we're gonna say, right? You've seen for yourself what the Mordrim can do. Oh, Trahern's just gonna jump in. If I may interrupt, this pack commander has far more knowledge about Mordramoth than I do. I'm here to learn and to listen and to consider, as you all should. The pact is not all powerful. I'm sure the pact will do all they can, but they won't be enough. That's interesting. Won't be enough? Why not? You took down Zytown. What's so different about this one? Yeah, what is so different? Oh, okay. We lost many in that fight. The Order's numbers are reduced. Well, that's your responsibility. Many of those lost were Asura. He makes a valid point. Many of those lost were Asura. All the more reason not to cut yourself off from the rest of us. We have ample protection. Are you saying we should put ourselves on the line to protect all of you? We are safe in Radasum. Alright, so now we're just going to straight like throw shade. Are you? Like you were safe underground? Referring to the first Guild Wars when what's the stupid like lava dragon anyway, the other dragon drove them out from underground, right? That was during Eye of the North in the first Guild Wars. Point well made, though it galls me to admit it. If we hadn't come to surface, Primordius, right there in the dialogue, and its destroyers would have annihilated my people. Yeah. For now, the Asura are going to participate. Okay, cool.
Much as I am loath to admit it, Radasum has evidence of Mordramoth's insidious invasion. Its tendrils prey on the magic that powers our waypoints and gates.
I don't doubt that Mordramoth is a great threat to Tyria, but the safety of my people must be my foremost priority.
Wait, why are we getting opposition for Queen Jenna? Like, I thought Jenna was the easy one to convince. We are brave and strong, but we are few. For so long we've been at war. Centaurs run right up to our doorstep, which is true. Like, centaurs literally wreak havoc right on the edge of divinity's reach. Then again, that's true of all the races, right? Like they're spawnier, literally in Holbreck, which is kind of an interesting thing as well. But you know, Inquest, you know, active all around the Sur and everything. So yeah, our situation is no different than any of these others. We have a responsibility to protect our people and see them prosper. I don't see how this will work. What are you asking? All I'm asking is that you talk to each other. Talk? How will that help? I can barely get a ceasefire with the Char, and you want us to coordinate our efforts against the dragons? Yeah. Alright, so all we're really asking is for everyone to talk, right? I do have strategists and researchers that aren't needed to fight centaurs. I can form them into a team and ask the best way to proceed against Mordermoth. That's a start. I mean, it's kind of a... yeah, it's a start, I suppose. You've opened my eyes to the breadth and depth of this threat. It's not another kingdom that's in danger. It's all our kingdoms, all our people. Yeah, so that's kind of like the important takeaway here that we're trying to drive home. All right, so...
I will dedicate a special force to dealing with this new threat. If there is no Tyria, there is no divinity's reach.
You have all given me hope for Tyria. It seems we...
What's going on? Pale tree. Oh, we're under attack.
Hold the line. Send the leaders down once it's safe.
You can't! They tore up the lift as soon as they got here! You're trapped up there!
Let's see. There we go. Let's head over here.
Okay. Let's clear out the Mortram and get the leaders to Casimir's portal. Come on.
Yes, so... Queen Jenna, head down. No? Alright, well, stay up here then. I don't care. Your problem, not mine. Oh, Flunt. Poor Flunt. This keeps happening to him, right? He almost died over in Dry Top, too. We saved him once before. Alright, so there goes Flunt. Looks like Jenna has also since headed out. We got Newt and Imperator Smoter. So in theory, like, Newt and Imperator Smoter should both be more or less able to take care of themselves. But there they go.
It's been ages since I fought battles such as this.
White Bear.
That's all of them. Go on through. I'll keep the portal open as long as I can.
Wait. Before you go, I must speak with you alone.
Okay. Come closer. Yes. Yes, I can sense you clearly now. I am weakened. Alright, so what we're about to learn here is that as part of this attack, you know, keep in mind, the pale tree, this is the avatar of the tree. The pale tree is all of this. Excuse me. And this attack is literally against the pale tree. I can't take much more. That assault was fierce. These Mortem tore at my roots and battered my branches. Be warned, there is another. One of the most dangerous. It comes directly from Mordramoth. It draws nearer. If I die, you will not die today. We might have wanted to let her... I mean, that sounds like it might have been an important sentence. Maybe we should have let her finish it, but okay. You will hear its approach. Alright. Oop, we missed our portal. Now we're going to have to wait for Casimir to come off cooldown.
Casimir, what happened? Where'd your portal go?
I don't know. It was holding strong. Then all of a sudden it was cut off. It's attacking the chamber!
Hang on! We'll do what we can from down here. Just hang on.
So this is a really interesting instance, by the way, because as far as I remember, this is the first time... keep in mind, Season 1 was reintroduced, you know, well after the fact. So, this is the first time, from what I remember, that ArenaNet introduced a hard mode story instance, and that is... Are we hitting it? Why are we not hitting it? Oh, because we got it down to 3/4. And that is exactly what this one has. This one has a hard mode. I've never bothered with it, but it is a thing, and there's an achievement associated with it. There's several other achievements, you know, within this instance as well. One of them, the attack that like covers the entire floor, If we never get hit by that, if we successfully dodge it every time, there's an achievement associated with that, and some other nonsense here. So we should have seen, or well, not necessarily. If you are Sylvari, you would have seen this enemy, or this model for this enemy, this this appearance before. Okay, so here's the big attack, which, oh, I don't think I dodged there. I think we lost that achievement. During your tutorial as a Sylvari, we see a creature that looks like this. You fight it. Basically, it's like your final fight, kind of like you fight the centaur, as a human to get out of that tutorial. As Sylvari, you fight a creature that looks like that. It's attacking the dream. So I have often felt like ArenaNet does a poor job of planning their stories far enough in advance. I feel like it often feels ad hoc, like they're kind of making it up as they go. However, that kind of provides some strong evidence that the fight against Mordramoth was always something that they anticipated, always something they planned. I think there's strong suggestion that this is intended to be the same creature that you see in the dream.
The threat has been quelled for now.
Oh, she's
Please
in a bad way
come
now.
closer.
That's pretty
Please.
slick, by the way.
I must share something with you. I'm fading.
All right, before we come down, Casimir.
Are you all right?
Oh, people are going to come up.
Quickly. She's hurt and needs mending.
All right, so let's talk about that vision real quick. So again, as much as I love to kind of trash ArenaNet for when I feel like they don't do a good job with the story, and I feel like there have been periods of time, and it's not necessarily season 2, season 1, Heart of Thorns. I don't think that's. It was more the Living Worlds like 3 and 4 where I felt like they were really shooting from the hip. Here we see again more really strong evidence of them already having a vision for what was to come in the future with that cutscene, with that vision. We see what looks like a city. We see these plant, that plant dragon that we just defeated and kind of flew off. We see it flying through spires that appear to be kind of city-like. And I think we're going to see what I believe that's meant to represent later when we get to Heart of Thorns. And then we also see light emanating from like a central image or a central kind of figure of sorts. We're going to learn what that is here very, very soon. Like maybe even the next chapter or within a couple chapters, we're going to learn more about that. All right. Oh, here are the leaders. And then all these people who are like, let's see, what's going on here? That's a dead Mordrum. Here we got a dead Sylvari. Right, another dead Sylvari. So we see all kinds of, there's more dead Mordrum around. But what about the leaders? So it looks like they had a pretty good, they had a crew of wardens to kind of protect them. Oh, and then we got the Shining Blade and some of their other bodyguards protecting them as well. Everyone all right? Queen Jenna. It would appear that you are right. So whenever you gather like prominent leaders, this is kind of like the the G12 or whatever, G20, whatever it is. I think that they do different ones. It's very weird, super elitist. But these different conferences that take place, like if you're gonna gather like various heads of state from all these different countries in one place, like boy, you better have security. And that's kind of the issue here, right? All the leaders of the races were gathered in one place in this. So this attack kills any doubts. I had about how dangerous Mordermoth is. Please, if you learn anything about it, would you let me know? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm here for. I work for you. What about Anise? What is she doing while you're saying that to me? Wolf will be proud of the beating we gave that dragon. I can't wait to tell my sons about this. They'll start polishing their weapons. Okay, so that was all that Newt needed to get on board, because the Norn love a good fight, and that's one thing that they're... It's a shame that ArenaNet's done so little to develop like our understanding of the Norn race and culture, because there's a lot of potential there. As much as I appreciate your efforts in fending off that monstrosity's attack, I'm anxious to depart this overly fragrant hothouse and relay these developments to my colleagues. And you may leave whenever you like, Counselor. Now is good. I don't hate Flunt. Like, I want to hate Flunt, and that's part of the reason I like him, I guess. We'll head back as soon as we've helped these Silvari. So that's interesting for a Char, but that's thoughtful of you, Imperator. I have a strategy session with my tribunes. Now, that would include Ritlock. Like I said, I was kind of surprised to not see Ritlock. Oh, wait. Of course we didn't see Ritlock here. I forgot. He jumped in a hole. They need to know what I learned here today. After that, I'll delegate someone to work with the other races. Good job. That's a smart plan. I know. That's exactly what I would say if I was him, too. So, who do we got here? Churn, who died? A random War Master. What are your thoughts? I am leaving now. I'm eager to return to Fort Trinity to continue our preparations against Mordermoth. This reminded me of Blightghast at Claw Island. Yeah, it's a very similar character model that they used, isn't it? Poor Lion's Arch. It has had more than its fair share of bad luck lately, right? There's intelligence behind this attack that does not fit what I know about Elder Dragons. So this has always been like a push-pull, or like, ArenaNet's kind of always like kind of towed both sides of the line on like how intelligent and cunning the Elder Dragons are. There's intelligence behind this attack that does not fit what I know about Elder Dragons. But even with Zaitam, we saw a certain degree of intelligence. And that's going to continue to get ramped up with most of the Elder Dragons, honestly. We need more information. Who knew about the summit? Only those present and anyone they told. Too many. Information like that leaks like water through cotton. Well, I guess, man. I don't know. We'll learn how Mordermoth found out. We will learn that. In the meantime, someone with a heart full of darkness. I hope they rot. Wow. Hey, guys. Hey, what's up?
That was horrible. I'm still shaking.
Of course you are.
Going to be okay?
No one seems to know. The Silvari I talked to have never seen her like this. That dragon hurt her badly.
That Zephyrite saboteur had a note on him that pointed to an important target. The leader. You think he meant the pale tree?
I think he took that answer to the grave. But this dragon minion sure convinced people that this summit wasn't a waste of time after all.
Are you feeling okay, boss? You've got a strange look on your face.
I do. Looks like the usual look this character has. I don't know, Rox. Maybe it's you. What happened up there? The pale tree, before she lost consciousness, gave me a vision. We get a lot of visions, don't we? A vision? What kind of vision? I don't know. There was a golden light and crystals everywhere. You sure that dragon didn't just give you a bump on the head? Positive. The pale tree showed me. Felt like a call to action. What action? What was she talking about? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yep. Let's learn about dragons. Kaz and Jory, I want you to go to Dermond Priory. Alright, research. Right up her alley. Taimi, I need you to continue your own research, but keep it quiet. Yep, no more noisy counselors butting in, derailing our work. Bram and Rock, stay close to Taimi in case she needs anything. What about you? Where are you going to go? I need to decipher the vision. Okay. Oh, did I actually get the... While avoiding all breath and claw attacks. I thought it was for the floor thing.
I need someone there I know who can get the job done. And I believe you may be that someone.
I shall prove you correct until we meet again.
Alright, so we missed part of that. Countess Anise, very well, Canuck. Playtime is over, and you've passed your audition. You're to go with them. Canuck, why? Countess Anise, I want you to learn what you can about the Pack's plans. Follow them to their staging area. I need someone there I know. Let me start that again. I need someone there I know can get the job done, and I believe you may be that someone. Canuck, I shall prove you correct until we meet again. So we see Countess Anise kind of sending Canuck. She's sending him to the packed staging area, but our paths will run across, or Where you going, Mender? Run around just helping people. Our paths will cross as a result of that, though. Oh, is this one of the big? Ah, yeah, look at that. Mordrum Husk. Which is very obviously based on the Abomination design, right? Like, similar type things. You can't necessarily fault the studio for doing that. Like, they can save time in development by using, like, the same, I don't know, what do they call them, like, frames or whatever? Like, I think that's pretty understandable. Okay, we have wrapped up The Dragon's Reach, both Part 1 and Part 2. And that's good, right? Good for us. Not good for the Pale Tree, however. Wonder if we can get up on the top. We can. Alright, so let's wrap it up here. So we finally got everyone together and got the summit to happen, but then the summit was attacked, right? Not a good thing. So most notably, all the other world leaders were fine, like they were whisked away to safety, and we fought the Dragon's Shadow, which is something that probably appears. In fact, I think it actually appears by name. I think it's called the Dragon's Shadow in the Savara tutorial as well. But we fought that thing, fought it off, but not before the Pale Tree took significant damage. Now, as I mentioned while it was happening, I'll mention it again. The Pale Tree is more than just that avatar that we interact with. It's all this. And that is what presumably was attacked by Mordramoth. So we now have the world like united, and we are prepared to take the fight to Mordramoth in the sense of, you know, the motivations there. But we do not possess the knowledge, and without the knowledge, we can't really form the military force to do so. We have to understand what we're forming a military force for. So the Pact is already working on that. They're already going to get started on that. But we individually need to find out more. So we've dispatched Marjorie and Casimir to the Priory, and Taimi's doing research with Rox and Bram to help her. And we are going to learn more about whatever vision we had, because Beltry gave us a vision. So all those things happening when we pick it up in the next chapter, which is Echoes of the Past. So we will get to that next time. Until then, I hope things are good for you, and we'll see you later.